It is sweater season. It is one of my favorite times of the year. So today I wanted to share with you not only my favorite sweaters for mature women, but also give you some tips and tricks when you're choosing your own sweaters for your own wardrobe. Sweaters are trending hot this season, and we're seeing some really cute styles. We're seeing some lady jacket style sweaters. We're seeing knit blazers, as well as jackets and coats and the whole range. So let's dive in and go a little bit deep into sweaters, because I'd like to help you pick out the perfect sweater for you. Sweaters obviously come in a variety of types of yarn, and one of the first things we want to avoid when buying a sweater is having a sweater that is itchy. Now, if you do happen to have a wool sweater that's itchy, then obviously one of the best things to do to remedy that is to wear something underneath it. But for some, that is not enough. And so we need to look at yarns that have a reduction in itch factor. Now, there are about 10 types of yarn that are considered among the best. And of course, their price tags sort of go with it. So one of them is lamb's wool. Now that's a little different than regular wool in that it is a very young sheep that are shorn for their fine yarn. Then there's merino wool, which is one of the finest types of wool. It wears very well. It also has the benefit of being heat regulatory, so you can wear it in the summertime as well as the wintertime. Now, one of the most popular kinds of wool that we see a lot is cashmere, and pretty much everything in my wardrobe has shifted to cashmere. And that is because, number one, I love the feel of it, and it's easy for me to care for now that I know how to do it. And the second type of yarn that I have a lot of sweaters in is a cotton. And I purchased several very inexpensive sweaters from Target, and I like the fact that they're lightweight and soft, they don't itch, and the price point is the lowest of all of the types of sweaters that I purchase. So here are some of the things that I look for when I'm choosing a sweater to add to my wardrobe. Now, the neckline is one of the most important parts of the sweater, because when people look at you, they're obviously typically looking from the shoulders up when you're sitting down. And so you want to choose a neckline that goes well with your chin. Rounded necks like this one I have on today are classic. They look good on everyone. They're a great choice. If you have a larger bust or you want to kind of create some drama at the chest, a V-neck can be really nice. They also layer well. Now, the next part of a sweater that we want to look at is how it fits you. The seams on the shoulder should come to the end of your shoulder. The sleeves should fit you nicely. They should not be too tight. So you're going to want to try it on and check out the sleeves. And if you do have more going on in your arm area, then you might want to try a bell sleeve or a lantern style sleeve that sort of bells out and then gathers at the wrist. The next thing we want to always consider is the length of the sweater. Sometimes I feel like I want a longer sweater because I feel like it's going to cover up maybe my tummy area or my hip area, but we want to be really careful where the sweater lands, like along the hip line and the waistline. One of the biggest concerns I hear from women is that sweaters make us look bulky, but I would submit to you that there are two reasons why the sweater may make you look bulky. The first is the cut. If the sweater is a very square cut, then it is more likely to make us look bulky or boxy. So you want to look for something that has a little bit of a shape to it. Maybe it has some ruching or some detail down the side. Maybe the pattern on the sweater draws attention away from a boxier cut. And some sweaters actually have a bit of a taper to them so that you don't get the boxy look. The second factor that makes sweaters appear boxier is the fabric. And one of the reasons why I particularly like cashmere is that it is a thinner, finer yarn, and so it is not thick, and it tends to drape nicely, and it tends to wear nicely. So you want to find that Goldilocks type of yarn that's not too stiff and bulky and not too thin. The second piece of the fit puzzle for sweaters is thinking about what you're going to wear under it. If you're like me, most of the time you just wear a sweater, but occasionally I will layer the sweater. If I were visiting a warmer climate, I might consider layering my sweater with a turtleneck. And if it's a thin gauge turtleneck, then you want your sweater to fit nicely over that. Sometimes I wear my sweater over a button down. And again, you will want to try your sweater on over any item you might consider wearing with it so that you make sure you're not getting a boxy look and you're making sure that the sweater fits nicely over the item that you're going to wear it with. The next type of knitwear that I'm in love with are the knits that are made into jackets, blazers, lady jackets, and even hoodies. Yeah, I will definitely go for a cashmere hoodie to wear at home when I'm lounging on the couch. Hands down, a wonderful look. But when I'm going out, I want something a little bit more elegant, a little bit more polished. For me here in Florida, a blazer might be too much. A heavy wool coat is definitely going to be too much, but a knit coat can be just the right thing. And so choosing a beautiful knit coat is a lovely way for those of us in warmer climates and those of you in cooler climates to throw on in the fall when it's still warm enough that you don't want a full-on coat. I'd love to share with you some of the places that I like to get sweaters from. I usually will start my search at J. Crew. They have a lot of nice cashmere sweaters, often at a lower price point. I also like to go to Nina, and they have beautiful cashmere sweaters, a whole bunch of beautiful styles of sweaters. The next place that I look at is Land's End. And for women that are looking for plus size and a nice quality cashmere sweater at a moderate price point, Land's End is a great place. Now, another place that I have purchased a lot of beautiful cashmere sweaters, in fact, this sweater I've purchased from, and that is a website called Everlane. And they have usually a handful of very nice, modestly priced cashmere sweaters. Now, when I'm looking for something a little bit more interesting, I will often go to Reese, or this year I've had a couple of items that I have my eye on from Veronica Beard. Now, you all know that I love Veronica Beard, and this year they have a couple of really cute sweaters. And so I'm kind of tossed up between, do I get the very classic burgundy sweater to add to my classic color collection, or should I get something a little bit more interesting with a little bit of pattern on it? Finally, one of the other places that I like to look is at Saks. I love the fact that at Saks they often have a variety of sweaters with different kinds of patterns on them. Now, they are quite pricey, and so what I usually will do is I will put them on my love list. And at the end of the season, when everything goes on sale, I will go back to my loves list and see if any of the sweaters that I've set aside have gone on sale. And if they do, then oftentimes I'll pull the trigger and purchase it, especially if I think it's going to be a long-term item that I will enjoy in my wardrobe for a long time. If it's awfully trendy and the price hasn't come down a lot, then I will often just say, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I found that having a variety of sweaters in my closet, some very classic and very much expected that I would have that sweater, and a few wild cards is a nice way to kind of round out my sweater collection. I hope that this video has given you some great ideas for sweater season, and you can check out all the links for everything that I've shown you in this video down below. And I look forward to seeing you next time.